scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. We are counting down to 7:30 this evening. That is when UCLA will be in town taking on your number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Development in this one, there will be no rematch with Nico Iamaleava. He suffered a concussion last week against Nebraska. He is not playing today. We are at halftime for most of the games in the noon slate. Number 9 Notre Dame with a 21-3 lead at Pitt. Could have been 28-3, but Notre Dame missed a fourth and goal on the 1-yard line. Wisconsin's kind of hanging around with Indiana and Bloomington. That one is 17-7 in the third quarter. And the big one here, South Carolina, unranked South Carolina, I might add, up 30-3 at number 3 Texas A&M. Marcel Reed having his worst game of the year, 2 interceptions and a lost fumble. That fumble went back for 6 for the Gamecocks.
Baby, it's officially football time. This is the KeyBank Pregame Show, getting you ready for all things scarlet and gray.
Leonard sails that middle of the field where it's caught by Greathouse. He's tackled at the 40. Tackled by Jordan Hancock and Ohio State. National champion.
Here's DeVere Posey, Dane Sonsenbacher, and Matty Ice.
All right, welcome in Buckeye Nation. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, back in the house today with the gang. DeVere Posey, Dane Sanzenbacher, 2 former Buckeye wide receivers. TLC on the board doing his thing. Fellas, happy Saturday. How we feeling today?
Matt, just go ahead and get it off your chest, man.
Well, it's good to see you guys.
It's good to see you, too. We missed you last week.
Miss you, man. Okay. I like that.
I feel like you got to clear the air.
That makes me feel better.
This feels, it's too tense in here, and I don't want to do 2 hours of it feeling weird.
I did miss you guys last week. I really did. So it's good to be back in the house. So I came back in, do the show with AR and TLC. And AR and TLC are like, hey, man, Dane and DeVere showing a lot of love to Tim Hall last Saturday. Vibes of wanting to give me the boot on Saturdays. I'm like, okay, I walk away for one Saturday, and this is what I get. This is what I get. All jokes aside, shout out to Tim Hall for filling in for me last Saturday. But yeah, it sounded like you guys were.
Did you plan on? Did you plan on the Buckeyes being undefeated? And you said, did this trip pop up, or were you like, yeah, I'm not working Purdue week because we're smashing these guys? What did you do?
So this was a birthday party I had to attend.
Okay.
And I did tell the person that was having the birthday party, if it wasn't Purdue, so if it was like Penn State, I wouldn't have missed the show.
Okay.
So it was opponent, driven, my decision to not be here. But I can only miss one. I couldn't miss another Saturday with you guys. Come on now.
I knew it was opponent-driven.
Here's what it was, okay? So you know how when there's like a classic song, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a remake, right?
Okay.
Good artist makes it, and people really like this remake, right?
Yeah.
But you can't get better than the original, right?
Okay.
So it was a cute remake we did with Tim. It was good. We have to give him credit, and DeVere and I are gracious hosts. Like, we're not going to have yes, you're doing it. You're doing a good job.
Yep.
But you can't get better than the original. The original is the original.
Makes me feel better.
So it just is what it is. It was a good.
Appreciate it.
It was a good fill-in. We had a good show.
Yeah.
But no, man. Yeah. There's no replacing.
No, I'd listen.
There's no advocating.
We're good now. I enjoy doing the show so much. It hurt me to a certain degree to hear that you guys
had a good time.
Had an eye on somebody else.
Wait, hold on.
He wanted it all to fall apart without him.
He wanted to hear that we didn't have a good time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man, your show sucks.
The audio went out a little.
It was a little choppy. He's kind of awkward.
The only thing we didn't have enemy lines.
Okay, I was getting text about that.
Yeah,
I was getting text about that.
That was the only gripe with you. Yeah.
I don't know if that's on me or if that's on TLC because I was off Thursday and Friday on Rothman and Ice.
TLC.
And so usually I'll schedule a behind enemy lines guest for us on Friday, which we usually play on Saturday.
Yeah.
I wasn't here. So I think I get a little bit of a hall pass.
There we go.
For that. We got one this Saturday, so I'm back. That's back and ready to go. We'll hear from Wayne Cook in our big game or behind enemy lines today.
Let's go, Wayne Cook.
Former UCLA quarterback. So he's their sideline reporter. We'll hear from him today. But I think we got to throw a flag on TLC on that one.
We went national and got a national guest, so we did not have a.
There it is. All good.
What team? Who the hell?
It was
did I
Purdue.
We did not have a Purdue specific guest.
The Lafayette The Lafayette
Inquirer.
Yeah, you didn't have that.
No.
It's not coming from me, Matt. DeVere ran he ran point on the, hey, we should have had a guest here. I like talking during that segment. So what we did, we pretended like we were behind enemy lines. Like, okay, you're them.
Yeah.
How do you beat us?
And look, to back my boy TLC, I can't blame them for not having a Purdue guest. It was Purdue. You know, there wasn't a lot to really unpack there. I just got a text from one of my friends saying, you sound like a player that got injured and didn't want the guy to fill in for him to succeed.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Is that what I'm sounding like? That's bad. I don't want to sound like
they
like
always say this.
I love Tim Hall. I really do.
You can never lose your job to injury or being out sick, but you can lose your job if somebody performs at all pro level, though, you know. But it was all good.
Can't deny it at an all-pro level. And we got to send some love out to Timmy. Timmy had a little snip going on.
Let's go. Celebration for Tim on the snip.
You know, Tim, hopefully he's doing well.
You can't celebrate that.
No, I don't know how to weigh in when we talk about that stuff. I got the question. I was like, I don't know if that's good, bad. I mean,
you're actually actively in the kid accumulation phase, so I can see that mindset. I'm kind of like
no, I just hear snip way too much in like the general conversation right now. I know it's like my age of friends, but it's like, when do we like? It's talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like it should be a private thing.
Okay. Tim did bring it to the air.
He definitely brought it on.
Tweeting about it and all that
but
stuff.
But he did, and he looked me dead in the eyes and like acted like I was going to have a retort or like a response for him. I was like, Tim, I don't know if I say I'm happy for you. Like, what do you want from me? I support your decision.
I wish you well.
I wish you well. I hope it goes smoothly.
Great, smooth recovery.
It's great. I hope they buy some ad space so you can talk about how great it is.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I just don't have anything to add.
Yeah, no, it's a subject to, and me and Tim were talking about it because I told him I needed to do it, and I like went a whole year and
so here he goes.
Didn't even think about it, but it's I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
So you're leaning that way?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This
is making Dane uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to.
This is making Dane very, very uncomfortable. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. Buckeyes got a night game tonight. UCLA in the house. We found out yesterday or early this morning that there's not going to be Nico. No Nico today playing quarterback for UCLA, which was kind of blindsided, I think, a lot of people. I hadn't heard much about that all week. It's a concussion, and so they kept that very hush-hush.
He didn't even really play last time he was here, did he?
He played it. It was the Tennessee game in the college football playoff.
No, it was a burn that didn't land.
Yeah, I got you. I saw where you were going there. He didn't play well anyway, so why not sit out? That's where I would have went.
You don't have to explain the whole joke. Now it's not even a joke.
But
see, it's funny because it was a blowout.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I wanted to ask you guys in terms of just like this no injury report with college, right? Because I mean, obviously, next segment we could talk about who we need to talk about. I didn't get to suit up last week,
right?
And then from our standpoint, I had a ticket to go to the game, but with Nico there, I'm like, the ticket isn't looking too great. I should have sold it Wednesday before this injury report came out. So, how do you feel about not being able to reveal the injury reports?
Well, I don't know why you would need it
for college.
Yeah, what purpose does it serve?
You think the same about the NFL?
So, I was going to say, so are you saying that's just for betting purposes?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. That was, and adjusting the game to make it more bet friendly at the college level. I'm not like really rallying for it. So like, I don't know
why injury reports are.
I think it's it. I think it's it makes a line. Yeah. So they can create a line for
create the line.
I think that's the biggest part of it. Yeah.
I'll have to check where the number is now that he's not playing. At the time throughout the week, Buckeyes were favored about 30 to 31.5 points. So we shall see. It looks like Luke Duncan, a sophomore for them, is going to be the guy you'll see under center for the Bruins today. We got some crazy scores going on right now, fellas, around the world of college football. Third-ranked Texas A&M getting mollywopped at home right now, 30-3. Mike Elko got an extension this morning. Contract extension this morning. That's going to put him in the top 5 as far as head coaches and the money that they're making per year. And this is what they're following that announcement up with right now. And so one of the better teams in the country that was undefeated, they're down 30-3 at home right at the beginning of the third quarter. Some other scores right now. Halftime, Michigan went into the locker room up 7-6 against Northwestern. So a tight one there. TLC's Notre Dame Golden Domers taking care of business right now against Pitt 21-3 early third quarter there. And then Indiana's handling business as well against Wisconsin 24-7 towards the end of the third quarter. But this one right here, fellas, it's just an example of sometimes I always say, like, certain programs you just have that things get weird game. Like, for whatever reason, like, guys just don't wake up, they don't have it. The other team plays the best game of their season, and seems like that's what Texas A&M is dealing with at the moment.
I think it was last Tuesday, I ran into Coach Trezzo at a school. We were doing an event, and we were talking about the time of year. And
that's a flex, by the way.
No, we ran into Coach Trezzo.
I like that.
That's our guy.
I like that.
No, we do. Yeah, we're doing an event, and so it's like I said, Coach, we're talking about fall weather change, and he goes into about November, right? And so like these kind of weekends are where college teams either can, vault themselves into that top 12 or just lose everything. And November is when you find out about the pretenders or the contenders, for sure, man.
That's it. So an interesting one happening right now down there in Texas A&M's neck of the woods. When we come back, we'll go back to the Purdue game, some of our takeaways from that one. Depot alluded to it. What's going on with Carnell Tate? Is he in or out? We'll discuss it all next. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Roadways are looking good right now. No problems to report. Just checked 315, both north and southbound in the area of The Ohio State University. Things are moving nicely with light to moderate volumes. Even looked out at the outlying areas, I-70, 670, 270, and 71, all looking good and problem-free. Remember, Woody Hayes Drive is closed on campus between Tuttle Park and Cannon Drive on game days. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on The Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus in Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types, good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Ford of Columbus.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
KeyBank, member FDIC. Bobcat Enterprises has rebates and write-offs to give you a competitive edge in 2026. Now until the end of the year, get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $10,000 in cash rebates. Offer varies by model and dealer in-stock inventory. This year's tax deductions are bigger than ever, and you can apply to lease, finance, or directly purchase equipment. Spend it before the government gets it. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, or see our full line of products at bobcatent.com today. Offer expires 12/31/25.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.
What he said.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs. It's time to get what you deserve. Join a team that offers better wages, secure pensions, employee-paid health care, and free training and continuing education. Apprentices, you'll earn while you learn. No student debt, just a solid future. It's more than a job, it's a career. Visit UALocal189.com and take the first step today.
The Fan has a new tailgate destination. Join us before every home game at the O Patio and Pub on Lane.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Jameson Whiskey and Coors Light.
See you Saturday, friends. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies are expected here for today as temperatures warm up to around 65 this afternoon. We're tracking a cold front arriving that will bring some breezy conditions and also the chance for a few scattered showers this evening. So if you're tailgating and heading out to the Buckeyes game, just keep that in mind. A few quick passing showers will arrive here. That'll clear out, and we're tracking some colder temperatures here for tomorrow with highs into the lower 50s. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
The ultimate way to get ready for another Buckeye victory. You're listening to the KeyBank Pregame Show. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Welcome back in. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. Matty Ice, Dane Sanzenbacher, DeVere Posey getting you ready for Ohio State and UCLA. We mentioned, fellas, in our opening segment, no Nico Iamaleava for the Bruins. The line was around 30.5 to 31.5 all week long. That line has now moved to 34 for Ohio State. So Vegas expecting a very comfortable win with or without Nico. We obviously know now it will be without him. And so this is one of those games, fellas, to where I think about, like, just get everybody out healthy, you know? Get everybody out healthy, because we're obviously at the end of the line here, end of the race here of the regular season. And that was one of the things they had on their side last year, was the health kind of in their favor more times than not. You had the offensive line stuff, but they figured that out. But the guys that were, you know, a lot of the main characters that you were really relying on and hoping were going to be available last year were available more times than not. And so hopefully between UCLA this week, Rutgers next week, going into Michigan, Dane, we're just talking about obviously the football part being clean, but the health part being clean too, because now we're getting down to it, and that college football playoff is right around the corner.
It's a tough one because it's hard to play to not get hurt. And actually, you don't ever want to do that. So it's like the injury thing is you get lucky at some point. I mean, just how the game is played. If you make it to, you know, now, dang, DeVere.
That was such a rookie move. Sorry.
If you make it to the playoff unscathed, you've gotten somewhat lucky with your injuries.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, because you don't want to ever play to not get hurt, because then you're just not doing your normal things. So, yeah, that's what you want from Ohio State. Like when we talk about this tomorrow, to say like, hey, okay, let's move on. It's a shame. I'm kind of bummed that this is what the UCLA coming to Ohio State at night game feels like. Like there's so many cool opportunities with, like, there's a lot of drawbacks, and I don't love
brand on brand right now tonight.
Yeah, I'm just like, with the Big Ten expansion, there's a ton of people, myself included, that I don't think it makes a lot of sense to have so many teams that you don't even play anybody. But the upside to it was, yeah, you might get these brands you don't play often, these cross-country games, and like there's a time you'd be like, it would be sweet to have UCLA come here.
This could USC be an early season game in like 20 teams for sure.
Yeah, this would have been like one of those big, you know, before conference, home and homes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now we're talking about it like it's like, okay, App State's coming in, we just got to get through it healthy. It's like, man, so it is what it is. I mean, I think these things will go in waves, because nobody would have, like, there are teams that are hot right now that aren't traditional Big Ten power. So I wouldn't say UCLA, or maybe UCLA makes another run and can come back, but that's my overall tone in it. Yeah, obviously Ohio State, play clean. Maybe you get some guys, or maybe you just learn something more. There's always something that these games are all going to be important, because this season is not incredibly long. You have to get something out of these weeks, because they're not all going to be like this. So whatever it may be, you just hope there's healthy, and you take something away positive from it.
Absolutely. And I think, like, how you play not to get hurt, like in games like this, you kind of, like, you take for me, it's like an early and often kind of game, because, like, it's like, all right, like, can I score? And
it's always where it goes first with this man.
Absolutely. If I'm playing,
you knew that was going to happen. You knew it was going to be like, here's what I'm thinking is,
attack mode.
If I score, I'm thinking if I score, come on, man.
How
did we make this work? How did we make this work as well as we did?
Because I was trying to score in the first possession so I can get out by third quarter. Like I know. Like, hey man, the way to not to get hurt is go ahead and put this thing away.
Hey man, you're lucky it was me and you.
Absolutely.
Like, what if there was two of us? Like, and because I didn't care.
No, you were.
I'm not even. That's not even like pump my own horn. But I don't know this would have worked if this was like you and.
No.
If you were a starter with, I can't even think.
As an
like,
offense, we want to.
You and Jeremiah, that'd be a problem.
Well, I'm saying if we want to score early and often, we want to get this thing out the way. Like, and you want to basically make sure we are putting up points.
You are right. I understand what you're saying, and you are right because that's the way to do it. You want to stay healthy by getting out of the game.
Yeah, let's get this put away.
For sure.
You want to, pour it on, and then hopefully you get a fourth quarter, get somebody else in there. That's the best way. You're absolutely right to stay healthy.
Yep.
I want to, because it's interesting, you bring up maybe the mentality of the player, and that's interesting, right? Like the approach to games like this. We hear on the outside, like the cliches, right, from the coaches and the players. How real is that when you guys know we're winning this game and we're probably going to win this game by a significant margin? Is that a thought at all, or is it really, hey, like we're really locked in and respecting every single opponent? Because we hear that as people outside of the building, but how is that really inside of the building?
I mean, I think these guys, man, like if I'm in their shoes from this player perspective, great team, great opportunity. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at Carnell Tate's stats. If he plays tonight, he probably can go over his season high total last year, which is 733. He's at 711 right now, 7 touchdowns. You got, I'm sitting here scrolling through all these. I think we got Caleb up for the harangue, like the Bednarik, Thorpe. You got the Litnikovs out there. You got Maxwell's. You got Heisman's. I mean, for me, not to say this like a pad and stat game, but at the same time, you go into this, Matty, like, that's what I'm thinking about in terms of like a clean player performance. When I cut the film on, like this should be a game where it's like I didn't play bad and it made this close. Like if we go out here and play to our best ability, this shouldn't be close. And so like you're focused on your individual performance, and for me, it's definitely the stats for sure. Like
you want individual and team success.
Man, we're gonna have
that's what you want
tonight.
Right now.
That's
what you want right now.
On the offensive end, I never felt like it was you were going into a game and your guard was down because it's always because I guess, and maybe it's specifically on the offensive side, you're always executing something. You're not the reactor, right? The defense has to react to what they're doing. They have to stay mentally sharp, knowing their keys, reading it. Like that, I feel like would be a little bit more challenging in these type of games. But on our end, it's like we have a specific, especially for receiver, there's a line on a piece of paper, essentially. You have a specific job in every play, and it doesn't matter the opponent. You've got to do it and do it well. There's gonna be film on it the next day. You're gonna be judged by what you do here. So it's like I never necessarily felt that. Maybe there can be like an overall aura, but on the offensive end, I think it's a lot easier to lock in, do your job, than it would be on the defensive side, or maybe the little details.
Let me ask you guys this. Is there a game or games that you can think of that didn't either go your way in the result of a loss, or the game was tighter than it should have been, but where you guys looked back and said, we weren't as focused as we needed to be going into Saturday? Did you guys ever look back and say, man, like that game, whether it was a loss or too close of a win, to where the preparation wasn't as sharp as it needed to be? Did Tress ever get on you guys about anything like that?
Maybe Purdue. Yeah. Maybe Purdue your sophomore year.
Yep.
My junior year. Yeah, we lost there.
What was it about the week? Sorry, that maybe led to that. If there was anything that you can look back on and say that was the reason why it didn't go our way.
No, I think it's also hard for me to compare these two because I do not see that type of thing with this era of this team at all.
Yeah,
like at the time, sure. I mean, like I guess maybe you were a little bit lax. You went there. It was a daytime game. It was a noon game. And they had some real players that we probably didn't even really account for. No. I mean, like they had some dudes. They had some NFL guys that were just like, it's Purdue. And before you knew it, it's over. So it didn't feel like that. I guess from my personal perspective, that one was just like that left before we knew what was going on. It didn't feel like the week of preparation was any different. Yeah. I don't know why. I really can't put my finger on why it feels like this version, the past however many years, really, I mean, Coach Day has typically hasn't lost games that are like this. Mm-hmm. I just don't see it. And actually when it happens, I can't even look back and like, you think about that game. You didn't play as much that year because you were younger. Yep. But I can't put my finger on like, oh, if we would have only done this. It's an easy one to say in the media afterwards. Like, I should have been more focused. Yeah. But there's some scheme stuff that happens. They have a good game plan. Before you know it's over, and you're like, oh, what was that?
That's how upsets feel. You're like, what is this not happening? But, you know, going into these games, these weeks of practice, you're preparing so much. And I think, like Dane is saying, for offense, it's execution, and for defense, it is too. And I kind of look at it like certain teams around America, like if you look at it like my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, we're going to have like more turns than you because we'll like have more chances at our turns, and like we'll execute more of our turns, so more of our possessions will end up in points. And even if this game like goes back and forth for a little bit, you're just like, at some point, the players they have won't be able to execute turn for turn and match us. And so it's like, with Ryan Day, like Dane is saying, you never feel like we're ever not focused during our turns. So it's like these possessions that we'll have, we're trying to do things offensively. We have goals, and I just think this will be one of those great shows to watch.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man, because I've been saying this year, you know, a couple of these games have gone into halftime and the team's down 3 or 10 or whatever it may be, but the game's never felt like it's in doubt. And I think that is credit to this team just being mentally locked in, credit to the coaches as well for those halftime adjustments and all that, because we've really seen them run away from some teams in the second half. And it's like I've been using kind of the analogy. You can get into a boxing match with Ohio State and maybe go toe-to-toe with them a couple rounds in the fight, but they're going to run away from you and usually deliver that knockout blow in time.
Yeah, and I think it might be we're moving in that direction of college football is a little less conducive to the upset. It used to be such a part of the DNA of the game, but I feel like less and less the big upset. It's getting harder and harder.
Or out of the top 4, like that 5 to 12, they're pretty shaky. For me,
I say that as A&M is on the ropes. I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
But no, that's
you should have just ended the second right there.
Why are you letting me talk?
But there is that upper echelon that you're talking about that they feel like even last year, the top 4 is like nobody's upsetting these guys. So,
and Ohio State to me just feels like that dominant unit because they're just both sides of the ball. Explosive there, which we'll get into throughout the show. Coming up next in our What They're Saying segment, you will hear from Coach Day, his thoughts on UCLA, and also the run game coming out of the win against Purdue. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Traffic's moving well right now. I just checked the ODOT cameras, 315 northbound from the 670 merge up to Ackerman Road. Light to moderate volumes with no problems to report. Likewise on the southbound side from the hospital curve down to Lane Avenue. Looking really good right now with no delays for you. Once you're off the highway, you're going to find some of those side streets are a little more crowded. Specifically, Lane Avenue is what I'm talking about right now. Between High Street and Olentangy River Road, it's starting to get very busy on Lane. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
This time of year, it's all or nothing, and Toyota's got all you need during Toyota Truck Month. Now through December 1st, get 2.99 APR financing on remaining new 25 Tacomas, excludes TRD Pro and Trailhunter, or lease a well-equipped 25 Tacoma SR5 for $259 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax title and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
This holiday, give a gift that changes everything. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Our family's helped couples celebrate love for over 78 years. From timeless solitaires to custom designs that reflect your unique story, our in-house jewelers ensure every detail shines. And with our guaranteed best price, you can shop with confidence, knowing your forever piece is as exceptional as your love. This holiday, make her wish come true with the Diamond Cellar ring, because the only thing better than unwrapping a little blue box is saying yes to forever.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
What's up? It's Matty Ice. Black Friday deals are here, and they're happening all month long at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can lease a brand new 25 or 26 Chevy Trax LT for just $299 a month for 36 months, or if you prefer to finance, get it for only $329 a month for 84 months for qualified buyers. With over 20 tracks in stock, you're sure to find the perfect fit for your lifestyle. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here. After retiring from professional football, I never expected that me, Bobby, I'd have low testosterone. So I went to my friends over at Affinity. I got my labs done, and now I've been on a testosterone replacement plan with Affinity for 8+ years. Best of all, they've supplemented it with peptides and lots of other great products. Learn why me and thousands of men trust the experts at Affinity to feel their best. Get more energy, better workouts, feel like yourself again. And do not waste another day. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com today.
Common Man and Timmy.
These doctors and the nurse.
You don't want them thinking that that's you and it's not.
Talking to one of his friends saying, let me tell you, there's nothing common about that Common Man. He's tidy.
Common Man and Timmy, Afternoons on the Fan, is sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. We're counting down to 7:30. That is when your number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will take on UCLA in the shoe, and they will do so without Nico Iamaleava on the field. He is in concussion protocol because of a concussion last week against Nebraska, so he is out. The noon slate is predominantly through the midway through the third quarter. The Indiana Hoosiers and Wisconsin Badgers are in the fourth. That is a 24-7 lead for Indiana. Number 9, Notre Dame has a 28-3 lead over Pitt, although Pitt is driving. More on that one throughout the show. And South Carolina has a 32, it looks to be 16-point lead. Make that 17. Texas A&M just scored. They were down 30-3, so they're trying to claw back. And Michigan currently has a 14-6 lead on Northwestern in Wrigley Field.
You're listening to the KeyBank Pregame Show. The only way to get ready for a Buckeye game. Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. It's time to find out what they're saying.
All right, welcome back in to the KeyBank Fan, a pregame show. DeVere Posey, Dane Sanzenbacher, I'm Matty Ice. Happy game day, Buckeye Nation. Let's hear from Coach Day. One of the things that people have been questioning about this year's Buckeye team, and you can't question too many things, is will they have a consistent enough run game when they need it? Coming out of the Purdue game, fellas, I thought it looked pretty good. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. But here's Coach Day on the guy that to me is really electric when he gets the rock, and that's Bo Jackson.
I think so. Let me start with the first one, and that was obviously a huge emphasis point going in, and I know we got called on a penalty, but it was good to see Bo make a few guys miss and turn that into an explosive run. And then, we ran the ball a lot in the game, over 40 times, and was able to get, on the film here and take a look at the things that we're doing better and get those guys those experiences because, these running backs haven't played a lot of football, and we're going to need them here down the stretch. So it was a good opportunity to get them some reps. I do think there was improvement there. I thought they played harder, physical. There was a couple runs by Bo in particular where there was 2 third down situations where there's a guy in the line of scrimmage that he pretty much just ran over. And we say bring your own blocker, man. Like, that's exactly what he did. So that was a step in the right direction for him. I thought he played a physical game.
We know the explosive running stuff is there for Bo. And to me, I see Jamal Charles when he's running. Like the running style, to me, it's just Jamal Charles 2.0. But hearing Coach Day talk about those runs he picked up and those third downs, to me, that's the great stuff that you want to hear, is him evolving and being able to pick up some of those grimy yards, Depot.
Man, Jamal Charles, great comp there. You're right, the number. And I think last week the intention with the run game is exactly what Coach Day mentioned. We need these guys. They haven't played a lot of football, and I thought that, watching the game, that was a pure focus. Like, let's get these guys rolling. I love the run that I saw from Bo. He, took some contact, finish, and also showed the long speed to get it done. He's just a complete back at such a young age, and so to get them those confident reps, build that early at this part of the season, and kind of make it. It's so crazy. I was watching the game, and I was like, man, Carnell Tate is hurt. And then you get to seeing Jeremiah. You're like, man, if you just get a serviceable back, a tight end, and just any other receiver in America, and you can win with just Jeremiah. And it was kind of crazy watching it. It was like, this man is like running through the middle of Tampa, too, and you're just throwing it up. And it's like, but that – mixed with what Bo Jackson was doing in the run game, it was just a feel and it was a mixture that I haven't seen ingredients-wise this team use to win. Normally it's, Carnell and Jeremiah, but it was just a different 1, 2, 3 combo along with Jeremiah, and it was good to see, and I thought that, it was one to put in the bank.
Real quick, Dane, before you weigh in, there was the balance between the running backs as far as touches goes. Like, Bo was the leader in carries, 14. Then you had Isaiah West with 9, James Peoples with 8, and then C.J. Donaldson with 5. Dane, when you look at this group right now of running backs and having 4 guys, your thoughts on just the bodies there? Do you like right now that we're in mid-November and they have, let's say, 4 guys? They do have 4 guys in the stable ready to go, or would you prefer more of the one guy takes the bulk of the work, or maybe even 2 guys takes the bulk of the work?
I think that position is as much of a getting in a rhythm position as any on offense.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard because you actually don't have time to make a decision as a running back. You're sprinting from 3 yards back, and you're just going purely by instinct in the hole. Things pop up. Yeah. You're not really making choices. So I don't know. I lean towards one guy having a bulk as a really good thing, because that's how you're going to get into a really good rhythm. I get why you want to have multiple guys, and you never know. And it seems like the way the game goes, at least in the professional, well, not even on the professional level, I still like having one guy, not alone, not that he's the only one that ever plays, but to truly get in an offensive rhythm as a running back, you got to be feeling it. Yeah. And not thinking, not like, getting in your rhythm. You've just got to feel where the line is. It's a weird position. And especially with a group like this where that offense has got to spread the ball out. As it is, you're not going to get that many touches. It's not like you're going to get a lot of back-to-back plays. So I don't know. We'll see as we get towards the end of the year if they do tighten that up a little bit and go bulk. Obviously, there is one guy that's getting quite a bit more than the others, but not a ton. And there's not going to be room for – I wouldn't think there's going to be room for 4.
Another part of the run game is Lincoln Keenholz, and we saw him get into the end zone last week. Here's Coach Day on Lincoln.
Yeah, we were trying to get him in the game here. We wanted to get a stop and then get out there and get him some reps. I thought, obviously, the 1 rep he had, he did a great job with. But, we're working him every day in practice, and we're getting him ready best we can. And when, the situation arises, we'd love to get him in the game.
I like this wrinkle. I like having Lincoln pop up every once in a while and do what he does. I mentioned the AR and TLC this week. I said, I want to see that little jump pass in time, too. Kind of that Tim Tebow, Derrick Henry, hey, I'm running it up the gut. Oops, no, I'm not. Right when I get to the line of scrimmage, I'm leaping up and throwing it to somebody. I like some of the creativity I think they can get to with Lincoln. I don't know if they need to get carried away with a lot of that, but I think maybe if a game is tight and they need to loosen it up just a little bit, maybe in the red zone, Dana, I like that card that they can play.
Yeah, it's a uniquely college wrinkle.
Yeah.
Because there is a piece of it that, we need him to stay engaged. We don't know if we're going to need him at some point this season, but we might. So how can we get him involved? It's something you don't see at the pro level. I mean, backups have kind of their clear role. You got to keep guys happy, and you want to keep everybody involved. So I think it's smart to keep him involved. Get him to run the ball when you can. Do they need an extra wrinkle or somebody else really touching the ball that's not of the many guys that they have that can touch the ball and make a play? I don't know. That was my argument last year with Will Howard. Like, I don't need to see you run the ball, because if we're running it, I can think of 4 other people on the offense that I would rather have running it. So it's nice, but the designed runs with him, just like, it's not for me. Yeah. So I get why you do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't lean on it, but it's probably a useful tool to have in the bag.
I agree. How do you feel about it, Dave? Depot, I'm sorry.
I feel good. I think when you have guys that make plays like that, and then you're as a team, you're sitting there and you're watching the highlight tape, and you're like, oh, okay, I see you got in the end zone. But when you are third down and it's national championship time, it's Fiesta Bowl time, it's Big Ten championship time, it's wherever we head, and those decisions come out and you're like, hey, this team is susceptible to the run, we want to keep our guy good. Lincoln has had that on film, and he has confidence that when it's time, those wrinkles are great to call back on when you need a play, right? And you can build off of those kind of things. And I think guys like that, when obviously the game plan will be heavy take Jeremiah out, heavy take Carnell Tate out, you have a good opportunity there. And I think just the variations of the run game, I think I missed those Emeka Ibuka little quick reverses and when he was kind of that gadget guy and obviously, getting Brandon in his role in that role here this year. But we got a lot of real true route runners. So we don't really see many of those gadgets. So I'm okay if it's reserved for QB2 to, like Dane said, keep them engaged when we need them.
I'm with you guys. Coming up next, we're going to hit you with our one tough animal for this week. We'll go back to last week in the world of college football and sports and shine a light on somebody that was balling out. Then we'll go back to Ohio State and Purdue. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Roadways are looking good right now with no major hassles, problems, or delays. 315 northbound as you come in from the south side. Very clear between 670 and Lane Avenue. Likewise, coming in from the north side, southbound 315 is moving nicely with just light to moderate volumes between the hospital curve and Lane Avenue. Once you're off the highway, that Lane Avenue is a very popular spot. You will find Lane Avenue to be stop-and-go traffic pretty much between High Street and Olentangy River Road. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on The Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive. Whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have, Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anybody. Like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models. With approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get Toyota Care, 2 years, no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.
What he said.
Get Eco.
Aaron, an HVAC system is exactly like a car. Except for it doesn't have tires, brakes, turn signal, a steering wheel, or a speedometer. Yeah, but other than that, they're exactly alike.
Get Eco.
Why do we change the oil on a car? So it works better and lives longer. Why do we do regular maintenance on an air conditioning system? So it works better and lives longer. Okay, now I see your point. We replace tires and brakes to keep everyone safe. And we inspect furnaces to keep everyone safe.
Get Eco.
But you cannot get Eco-Fi Advantage for your car. For just $28 a month, Eco-Fi Advantage covers all 3 systems: plumbing, electrical, and HVAC.
Get Eco.
Go to geteco.com and scroll down the page to where it says Eco-Fi Advantage. And make sure you watch the video of Aaron and me. I don't think you're in that video, Jerry.
Get Eco.
Eco. Plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week. But not OJ, because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
The only way to do game day. This is the KeyBank Pregame Show, getting you ready for all things scarlet and gray. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. The Fan's one tough animal.
All right, welcome back in. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, rocking out with the former Buckeye wide receivers, DeVere Posey and Dane Sanzenbacher. I'm going this week for my one tough animal. I'm going with animals this week. And I'm looking at a couple Georgia Bulldogs. Had the battle of the Bulldogs last week. Georgia taking on Mississippi State. Gunnar Stockton put it together, and so did his running back, Nate Frazier. Through the air, Gunnar Stockton, 18 of 29, 264, and 3 touchdowns. Helped him out as the second leading rusher as well, with 6 carries for 31 yards. So you'll take that all day and tomorrow from your quarterback. And then Nate Frazier, big-time running back for them, 12 carries, $181, and 1 touchdown for Georgia as well. And so Georgia rocking and rolling, had the 1 loss to Alabama. This year, they're in really good shape. They are big fans right now of South Carolina to make things weird in the SEC, even though Texas A&M is now coming back. If you're just now joining us, at one point in time, South Carolina was winning against A&M 30-3. The score is now 30-24 late in the third quarter. And so going back to Georgia, fellas, they have a game against Texas today, which is a massive game, and then a big-time rivalry game against Georgia Tech to finish out the regular season. But good performances from their starting quarterback in Gunnar Stockton and their starting running back in Nate Frazier last week against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Final score of that one, 41-21. One tough animal. Who's ready to go? Dan, you ready to cook?
Yeah, I go. I got a couple. They're from the same game. Because as you guys know, when I'm not watching Ohio State in my household, we get roped into the Hoosier games.
The Hoosiers, baby. It's the Hoosiers, baby.
I apologize to those out there like, man, this guy just let go of the Indiana thing. It's just, it happens to be what I...
So what you're saying is, this is your version of Ashton Genty for me last year.
Yeah.
When I had...
I've let it go for a while, but everything, my one tough animal, Ashton Genty. Yes, that was you. No, but I've got a different take on it. So that Penn State-Indiana game last week. Penn State, obviously, they're not the worst. They're not like LSU bad right now as far as state of program, but they're not in a great spot. Yeah. Not a lot to play for. And I think we talked about them yesterday and saying, like, hey, you might be on the hot seat if you've got to show up. I think I might even put the heat on Penn State. I will give them tough animal credit for showing up. Mm-hmm. They did not have a lot to play for, and that's an Indiana team who's number 2 in the country, and by all means should have probably won that game. I mean, they had them absolutely as on the ropes as you could. So they're part of my tough animal. I give them all the credit in the world. I don't think Fernando Mendoza played great. I think he threw a bad pick. I think he put them in not a great spot against a team they should have beat. And they did.
Yeah.
But that last drive and really that last catch, and I don't know if I want it to be Mendoza or Omar Cooper, but when that happened, I was like,
that was crazy.
You know how when you watch a catch live, and you have an instant reaction of was he in, was he out?
You're like, he was in.
You were like, he was in, and I couldn't understand what. I was like, but how was he in?
Yeah.
So like my brain initially saw. I've seen enough of these catches in my life and watching film or whatever. So you kind of know. You're like, I think he was in.
You made a lot of them too.
And
I'll do it for you.
Call by that ref.
I'll do it for you.
He called that.
He got it right.
He got it right.
And I don't even know if it was purposeful, but the right foot missed, and he tapped with the inside foot. I was like, I don't know if There's a little bit of luck, but that looked awesome in slow motion. Omar Cooper, that looked awesome in slow motion. Yeah, so I mean, I'll give it that game was closer than it should have been, but from a fan perspective, super entertaining. And I thought there was a lot of dudes that were out there playing their butts off on both ends. Mostly Penn State, and Indiana just kind of stole it at the end.
We got a few more games to figure out this Heisman thing, but everybody always kind of talks about moments for the Heisman candidates. That was Mendoza's moment.
I think that's kind of unfair though, because you put yourself in that situation. I know that's what it will be.
I think that'll stick with people. You know what I mean?
It will stick with people, but that's a messed up part of it. Is that like you put yourself in that situation to give yourself a Heisman moment. He didn't do it on purpose, but
it'll be similar to your point if Texas A&M comes back and wins this game. It'll be like, oh, they came back from a big hole.
From being like, why were you in the hole?
Should they have been there in the first place? So I get what you're saying. Depot, you got one tough animal?
Yeah, man, I'm going to go with
Ashton Genty.
Right. Exactly. But to be honest with you guys, like I'm sitting here once a year, I get an opportunity to just watch like a Big Ten game that feels like a Big Ten football game. And for me, like I just like it wasn't one tough animal. Like I have some great performances. I'm gonna go to it, but like the best game I watched last week was the Iowa and Oregon game. And you talk about like just it looked cold. I was like, let me grab my blanket. This is the type of football I like to watch right here. It was low scoring. It was 18-16. But I just want to shout out Iowa's defense, man. I thought that team just like didn't have a bend but break mentality. And I just thought they did a good job, man. And just more importantly, it was just a good classic football game for me.
It was good stuff. It was good stuff. I was impressed by Dante Moore late too. Some of the throws. He was interesting because you mentioned Mendoza. Mm-hmm. He didn't have one of his top wide receivers in Surratt playing in that game. Omar steps up, and then on the Oregon side, I can't remember the receiver's name, but one of their top guys wasn't available either, and he delivered.
And he got hurt. Yeah. And in my individual performance, like the Akron's quarterback Ben Finley. 32 completions. He threw it 59 times, but man, my man had 424 yards and 3 touchdowns. Got to give some action, some love.
Yeah.
They don't really make the one tough animals, but my guy was slinging the pill.
We got some of that midweek action going on right now. Some of these games early on in the week. My friends and I went to a game at Akron years ago. I don't know why we were there. That's the home of Jason Taylor, correct? Am I remembering that correctly?
He's a Zip.
Hall of Famer.
He's a Zip.
Played there in Akron. Yeah. It was pretty cool. So those are your one tough animals for this week. I want to play this clip for you guys from Dan Orlovsky before we get to Adam King at the top of the hour, because Dan Orlovsky was on Get Up this week on ESPN and had this to say about Ohio State and where they are right now as the number 1 team in the country.
Least tested number 1 team in the history of college football. They've played nobody. Week 1, Texas. Ever since then, they haven't played anybody. I don't know if they played a team that's ranked right now since Texas. They have been trailing for 1 second in the second half this year. We have no idea who this Ohio State team, very good team, quarterback's a really good player, Jeremiah Smith's best player in college football. We have no idea who Ohio State is, like down 4 in the fourth quarter.
Your reaction to that? As former players, when you hear somebody say that nationally, how does that land for you guys, hearing that?
Hearing UConn Dan say that, knowing, he hasn't really played anybody when he was in college at UConn. I get his perspective, and I understand the whole national landscape of, yes, these guys aren't playing anyone. But I look at, like, style of defeat, and then also I look at just where Ohio State is positioned this year with the talent back. If you look at the draft boards, Maddie, they have Arvell Reese going first overall. They got your guy. He's going to be your guy. They had your guy, Carnell Tate, going in the first round of the Ravens. You talk about all the other talent on the defensive side of the ball. I understand not being battle-tested, but, Dan, I just don't see us being down in the fourth quarter because of the talent we have. So it's just, I understand that tested, but it's just like, I don't see that happening.
This made me more mad than it probably should have.
UConn Dan.
It's not because it's at Ohio State. It's because what is he talking about? Like, the logic doesn't make sense. You're the least test. It's as if the rankings are based on how much you're tested. It's not. The rankings are our best guess of who's the best team. And right before he says it, he's like, we don't even know who Ohio State is. Okay, they got a quarterback's playing really well. They got Jeremiah Smith, the best player in the country. They got a really good team. Like, Dan, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's exactly why they're ranked number one. What are you talking about?
He moved the goalpost just a little bit at the end.
And he's like, least tested. We don't know who they are in the fourth quarter. All right. I mean,
I would love to ask Dan, if you have that take, do you believe that because of the schedule that they've played so far, that they aren't capable of going on a run against some of the best teams in the playoffs?
Well, it implies that you don't have confidence in how good they are.
Correct.
And I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, and this is a guy, and I got real petty with this, Maddie. I pulled receipts on him, and I don't even have social media. I had to Google what he said.
I love Petty Dan. I love when Petty Dan.
And I'll go there, Dan.
Here we go.
Just this July, you said that you thought the Big Ten, who you must have thought was a very strong conference, would have the most teams in the college football playoff at 5, saying it's definitely Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Illinois, and the 5th will be Michigan or Indiana. So when they put out these rankings, you said, okay, well, the Big Ten's going to be really good.
Oh, this is great.
And
research.
Ohio State is number 2. They haven't lost yet. Dan, what are you talking about that you need to see tested?
It's a good question. I would love to hear his answer to that.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm kind of with Depot to where I trust what I'm seeing and I trust what Coach Day has built. To me, we all know that they can go toe-to-toe with anybody, anywhere. And so the schedule for me, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that when they get into a talent-for-talent game, they're going to show up. This isn't going to be, they played a good team because they didn't play somebody good in the regular season. They're not going to be able to hang with some of the good teams. I don't see it that way.
I don't know if that you would have reason to.
Yeah.
So it's a weird comment, but that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That constitutes a take.
And so you think about that back-to-back Georgia team. Their first battle-tested game,
the second year. When was it?
When they were down in the fourth quarter. The situation that Dan is talking about. It was Georgia versus Ohio State in the Chick-fil-A Bowl when C.J. Stroud was driving. So when you have a team that's repeating, Dan, that's why they're in contention to repeat, because it's going to be a level of ease because you have some national champions still on the field. So that Georgia team didn't get tested to the Ohio State game.
It was a spicy take this week.
Yeah.
That got the college football streets talking, that's for sure. Coming up, top of the hour, the man that sits on the Iron Throne for 10 TV, Adam King, joins us next. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Seeing traffic volumes start to build up just a little bit on 315 around the Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road exits. You're going to see just a few more brake lights right now. Things are still moving, though, overall with moderate volumes of traffic. On Lane Avenue, things are very busy between High Street and Olentangy River Road. Olentangy River Road is getting crowded between Ackerman and Kinnear. And a reminder, Woody Hayes Drive is closed on game days between Tuttle Park and Cannon Drive. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Drive through football season with style, comfort, and confidence. AR here and my friend Rich Newsom and his team at Germain Honda of Dublin have more than 500 new and pre-owned cars to choose from. And the best service team in town on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types, good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Ford of Columbus.
Hey, football fans, it's November in Ohio, and you know what that means. It's time to face that state up north in a battle to claim forgotten funds. Join us in the statewide challenge and visit com.ohio.gov/radio to help support Ohio's takedown of Michigan. The state with the most searches wins. Who knows? Unclaimed funds could help you buy a seat to the big game next year. Claim your money today at com.ohio.gov/radio.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Ooh, winter's coming. And when the wind starts to blow, don't come inside to the cold. Open the door to peace of mind with your Waterworks and Header Precision Furnace Tune-Up and Energy Savings Plan. Your furnace is the heart of your home, and Waterworks and Header will have yours running at peak performance throughout the winter. Plus, you'll save on those energy bills too. Go to waterworks.com and schedule your furnace tune-up online. Waterworks and Header, heating, cooling, and plumbing. Together to serve you better.
Drive through football season with style, comfort, and confidence. AR here and my friend Rich Newsom and his team at Germain Honda of Dublin have more than 500 new and pre-owned cars to choose from. And the best service team in town on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartemus. We are counting down to 7:30. That is when your first-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will take on a Nico Iamaleava-less UCLA Bruins team. He suffered a concussion against Nebraska last week. And we are also in the fourth quarter of this noon slate. I should say Indiana did finish their game. They came out of that game against Wisconsin with a 31-7 victory. And a lot of other games going on right now. Number 9 Notre Dame has a 30-9 lead at Pitt, number 22 Pitt. And then we have South Carolina still trying to fend off the number 3 Aggies of Texas A&M. That was a 30-3 game. Now it's 30-24. Marcel Reed had a really bad first half with multiple turnovers. He has now stormed back, and he's thrown for over 350 yards.
The ultimate way to get ready for another Buckeye victory. You're listening to the KeyBank Pregame Show. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. Happy game day to you. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. Matty Ice, DeVere Posey, Dane Sanzenbacher getting you ready for Ohio State and Purdue. Going to add one more to the party right now. The man that sits on the Iron Throne for 10 TV. His name is Adam King, AK. Happy game day. Where are you in the world right now, sir?
Happy game day. I am on the way to see you guys at the station here. If we had done this segment about 3:30, I think it would have timed out. I got a little wrapped up in this Texas A&M game. I mean, this is insane.
It is crazy. 30-24 right now, about 11-ish minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Been crazy, AK, making a little comeback. So it'll be good to see you here in a few minutes, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think if you're Ohio State, maybe look at this South Carolina, at least the first half score, and remind yourself that this is college football. Anything can happen on any given day, so you can't just take a Saturday off, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, so I wanted to ask you a few things about Carnell Tate. Obviously, your ear is to the ground on all of this stuff, and did you feel like the absence of Carnell Tate just led to that rush attack obviously last week, or what are you looking at it like?
Well, I think Ohio State really, really wants to establish the run in a major way. I think Purdue really struggles against the run, so it kind of went hand in hand there. They also wanted to see what they had next up behind Carnell if he's not going to play like he did in that game. And you've got to understand, and I know you do, the Buckeyes have a lot bigger missions than beating the Boilermakers or beating UCLA. Their job is to go out there and try to win a national title, try to win the game that's now just 2 weeks away up in Michigan. So they're not going to risk what is a light injury becoming something more because they want to try and put Carnell out there and score 100 on UCLA. That's just not smart football. It never has been. And so I think they want to lean on their run game, whether they have Carnell or Jeremiah or not. They want this run game to be one of the best in the country. Right now, it's a four-headed monster, and they're trying to weed through that to figure out what it's going to look like as they get to the postseason here.
I feel like we ask you this every week, Adam, because these are, Ohio State has been heavily favored in a lot of games this season, and rightfully so. But you've got to get something out of them. You've got to learn something about your own team. I know we've talked about the run game. Is there anything outside of that you particularly want to see, or you think this team will be working on, or hope to take away that on Sunday they go into the film like, okay, we got better this week. It wasn't just like a check the box, stay healthy. We actually got better at something.
I would like, and this is just me personally, and this may lean more on the Rutgers game next week, but I think I'd like to see it here too, is just turn up the heat a little bit. The one thing that I have been a little worried about is this idea, and I know Ohio State can do it. They know they can do it. When they need to flip the switch, they'll flip it on offense and the pace of play. Now, they are a huddle team. They're going to go to the huddle even when we get to the playoffs. But, when they go to this up-tempo or even just a little bit of a faster pace in the offense, to just flip that switch on game day, and say, all right, let's do it. I'd like to see them lean into that, see what it looks like, building over the next few weeks. But if you don't need it, why show it? With this UCLA game, I will say, waking up to the news of Nico Iamaleava, it's bizarre. I've never heard of a player who finished a game with a concussion and then, obviously they were monitoring him in that game. I was watching that game, and it was weird. It's weird that, nothing has been mentioned all week long, and then we get here and now he's out. It really does just put a big cloud over what was already going to be a really tough game to get excited for. Now it's pretty much, hey, it's UCLA. They're coming from the West Coast, but this is not the same Bruins team we saw against Penn State. Their only bright spot really was Nico Iamaleava, and he's not playing.
Yeah, no doubt. We're talking to Adam King from 10 TV. He's joining us here on the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. AK, we were talking a little bit earlier about the run game, and I know you touched on it there a little bit, but we had a kind of a branch off of the run game tree, if you will, with the whole Lincoln Kienholz package, right? And seeing him get into the end zone last week. Your thoughts on that? Is that something you want to see more of, or do you like kind of just sprinkling that in every once in a while?
I am fine with it. I like Lincoln. I think he has earned that role. I think Lincoln Kienholz is a fantastic player, and he's a better leader on this team. And so to give him that opportunity is great. It's how it should be. I don't know that Lincoln Kienholz is changing if he's going to throw some passes down in the red zone, then I like the package. But if it's just, I understand the 11 on 11 when you bring in a quarterback that you're on even numbers finally. But if you're bringing in a quarterback and all you're going to do is run, I've always been opposed to that in football, because you're just telling the defense what you're going to do. And so I am curious if we get down the line and maybe this becomes more of an RPO thing with Kienholz. And if that's the case, I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. Adam, the Buckeyes National Championship documentary came out this past week, and obviously it's been all over Ohio State media. You watch those guys and the character of that team last year and just kind of what they stood for, and kudos to those guys. 2024 National Championship run was one for the ages, and we got to cover it here together. But I wanted to ask you about this to your team. If you could say, hey, we're a year down the road and we're watching a documentary for this team, what kind of things would you say about this group that people don't know? I mean, obviously the award season is coming up. These guys are very decorated on both sides of the ball. And then all these coaching vacancies and our coaches playing so well. This group is special. So how do you encapsulate, like, just to this season, to this point so far?
I would say last year's team came into the season expected to win a national title, expected to be one of the greatest rosters in Ohio State history, college football history. That was the talk all offseason. This year's team was a team that came in and heard all about last year's team. And nobody wanted to talk about what the success could be. They wanted to talk about what they lost. They wanted to touch on all the players that were gone, the coaches that were gone. And instead, this year's team has proven they are.
He was cooking.
That fish got him again, man.
He was cooking, too.
He was rolling. He was rolling.
See
if he would have.
See, he's driving. He's trying to talk, and out of nowhere, bam, mackerel.
I do love that TLC has that. Just on deck.
He knows. It's my favorite. He knows to have it ready to go.
At all times. So
we'll call him back.
We'll call him back.
No, I think what he's saying, though, is an outstanding point.
Yep.
Because we forget the expectation, right? We came into this season. Like right now, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, everybody, Ohio State's rolling. There was so many unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
This was not the team that people were saying, best roster I've ever seen.
Right.
This was not the team that, now, great players, great comeback, and you're coming off a national championship, but it wasn't, head and shoulders, this guy. We were going into Texas saying, like,
we don't know anything.
Let's keep this one close. We can lose this and still be okay.
Yep.
So it's almost a little bit, I don't want to say unfair to put, there's pressure on this team that it was not expected to be there.
It feels like they're a year ahead.
Yes.
That's what it feels like, especially when you talk about a year one quarterback. Sometimes it just takes time for them to reach their ceiling, and maybe Julian hasn't even reached his ceiling, which is scary to think about. But I'm with you. I'm with AK because new defensive coordinator comes in. You lose a bunch of vets, having to replace the most important position. And like you just said, starting the year with the premier program in Texas, and they've been cleaning up, man.
I would almost feel like this, the ranking is what it is. Number one ranking, what does it really mean? Who knows? But it's almost like, it feels almost like that's more of a humbling thing with this team. Or that's how I picture it, because this wasn't an expectation. I feel like they are exceeding what we thought. It's the challenge of playing at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. The challenge of playing at Ohio State is like you do this for like 4 or 5 games, and then everybody's like, told you so, man, this team's the best. Then if they lose a game, you're like, oh, man, what happened? But it's like this team they're in a tough spot because you're a victim of your own success. You're exceeding expectations that you weren't supposed to, and now you've reset a bar for yourself.
No doubt.
But
no doubt.
That is the standard's the standard.
No doubt.
Yep, and I think that's what the thing was coming off of this year. Because the buildup of last year and then the national championship celebration season being so long, it's almost like this team didn't really get a fair preseason look, right? You're just like, we'll be good, but I kind of don't feel like peeling back those pages of the scout report because, I'm still mourning the loss of JTT, mourning the loss of Jack Sawyer, but, man, I just been really impressed with, I think the story of this team, like, in asking Adam, just the resilience and the focus for you to be able to come back and say, hey, take down the banners.
Yeah. Our job would even be a little bit, can we get a rebuild year? Can we get a breath? Right. And we also had to work way into the playoff. Like, can we have a year where like maybe you're still growing and working on things? We're scraping to trying to get a better run game against UCLA. It's like, come on, guys.
We don't want home playoff games now. We don't want home playoff games. And I don't think we're going to have one. And I just, like, you're right. This is and I think about I know a lady that went to all of those bowl games, Dane, and she's like, I hope I don't have to do it again this year, but you will probably have to.
Buckeye Nation travels well, as we know. Coming up next, it's our Behind Enemy Lines segment. AR and I yesterday caught up with former UCLA quarterback Wayne Cook. He is now currently the sideline reporter for UCLA. You will hear the breakdown of the Bruins coming up next. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
We are moving nicely on the roadways right now without reports of accidents or major delays in any spots. We're starting to see volume pick up just a little bit on 315. Southbound, you're going to start to see a few more brake lights as you approach Ackerman Road, and that continues through the Lane Avenue exit. On the northbound side of 315, you're going to see some brake lights start around the Medical Center King Avenue exit, but things are still moving smoothly. A reminder, Woody Hayes Drive is closed on game days between Tuttle Park and Cannon Drive. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan. John.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And nobody has more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $289 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Diamond Seller's Holiday Gala is back. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Seller. I remember the wonder I felt as a kid when I walked through the dazzling displays, meeting world-class designers and sharing joyous moments with my family. Now, I have the privilege of sharing this tradition with my own children and with all of you. Our gala is more than an event, it's an opportunity to come together, create memories, and enjoy 25% off the designers you know and love for 1 weekend only. So join us December 4th through 6th and visit diamondseller.com/gala to learn more.
Hey, football fans, it's November in Ohio, and you know what that means. It's time to face that state up north in a battle to claim forgotten funds. Join us in the statewide challenge and visit com.ohio.gov/radio to help support Ohio's takedown of Michigan. The state with the most searches wins. Who knows? Unclaimed funds could help you buy a seat to the big game next year. Claim your money today at com.ohio.gov/radio.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cloudy skies are expected here for today with temperatures around 65 here this afternoon. Breezy conditions with gusts up to near 30 miles per hour as we track a cold front arriving, and that's going to bring a few scattered showers this evening. So if you're heading out to the Buckeyes game, just keep that in mind. A few scattered showers are possible here for this evening, and that'll clear out. And we're tracking sunshine for tomorrow with highs into the lower 50s. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
You're listening to the KeyBank Pregame Show. The only way to get ready for a Buckeye game. Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. The fans behind enemy lines.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers.
All right, Behind Enemy Lines this week is going to be brought to you by Wayne Cook, former UCLA quarterback. He is currently the sideline reporter for the UCLA Bruins. AR and I caught up with him yesterday on Rothman and Ice. Here's his preview of what the Bruins will be bringing to the field.
Wayne, thanks for taking the time, bud. Have you been to Columbus before?
I have never been. I get to check off Columbus this year. We go to Michigan next year, I believe. So those are two stadiums I have not been able to stand on the field, and I cannot wait for this weekend.
You know, it's funny because I know it was like maybe close to your era the last time they were here. I think they were here in 99. I actually covered that game, and it was weird because I think UCLA got off to a really good start, and Ohio State went to a backup quarterback. There were a lot of suspensions on UCLA. I think they were missing like 13 or 15 guys. for weird stuff like, this is back in the day, right, Wayne? I think they were using like handicap parking placards or something, and they got suspended. And now the funny irony would be that they're allowed to park anywhere now because of who they are. But give me your best state of the state on UCLA football right now. How surprising has this season been for you, or not?
Well, wow, that whole you took me way back there. I remember that whole thing. What I remember though is UCLA, that was kind of the end of, they had a 20-game winning streak before that season. They had been ranked number 1 in the first BCS polls. I mean, I had started the beginning of that decade, 93, we went to a Rose Bowl. It just feels like it's been way too long. So we've been close. We've had a couple of teams. I believe we had a couple of teams under Chip Kelly that was, the problem with those teams is we were good enough to win a conference championship, but we'd end up losing a game to Arizona that we had no business losing. And so it's been kind of a crazy run since basically the turn of the century. I had always said that I thought UCLA should always be a top 20 team. I grew up watching UCLA football in the 80s and 90s, and we were never that far off. And it's just been a struggle. So, we're dealing with an interim coach right now. We fought our butts off to get 3 wins in a row, but things have kind of regressed a little bit since then. I don't know if we're as bad as our record talent-wise, but we just haven't been able to put things together. And so it's been a struggle. The one thing I will tell you, though, is this team will fight. I think Tim Skipper has done a heck of a job as an interim coach. That's not the easiest job in the world. He's been a breath of fresh air, you guys. If you ever get a chance to meet him, you would enjoy the conversation. He's made my coaches show every week the easiest show in the world because we can just talk anything we want to talk about, and he's game. But so it is what it is. I can't act like I'm happy though, because UCLA sitting with 3 wins and we have to run the table just to be bowl eligible. That's not my vision of what UCLA football should be.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So we got to look at Nico last year in the playoff, and he had a spicy offseason, as you know, and now he's a Bruin. And so I couldn't wait to ask you about the Nico experience, what you've seen from him this year, maybe his growth at the most important position so far.
From day one with Nico, and it's funny when we start trying to decide who we're going to judge and pick on for character in the modern era, I think we could talk for 6 years about, coaches chasing money, players playing at 4 or 5 schools in their career. Nico, just the way his happened and leaving the SEC, a whole bunch of people were going to write about that. What I've learned is that from day one, he's a really nice guy. He's got good character. He's not afraid to do interviews. He's not afraid. He hasn't run from the situation at all. And so, and then I'll tell you this too. He is a tough young man. We've really struggled offensively. He's already had an offensive coordinator fired. He's having to learn new stuff on the go. And if you watch our games, like last week against Nebraska, we really couldn't do a whole lot on offense other than him running around and being, I hate to use the word hero ball, but sometimes it feels like he almost has to do that. And so he's just really, really tough. And anybody who's played quarterback says sometimes your throwing suffers a bit when you have to run and you're getting hit a lot because he runs like a running back. You don't see him slide much. He drags people. He tries to run you over. He's just extremely physical and tough. So I've really enjoyed being around Nico. We could pick 100 different players and talk about, is it good for them to do the things they're doing? And I don't even know anymore because it's so much different than when I played, when you had father figures as coaches. They were mentors. Everybody talked about the life lessons you were supposed to learn, turning into great young men. Now we just talk about money, which is disheartening at times. But there's still a lot of good kids out there, a lot of good young men playing hard football, and Nico's one of them. He's getting paid a lot of money, but man, he plays hard.
He is Wayne Cook, sideline reporter, UCLA Bruins football, and the former quarterback himself. Wayne, when you looked at this team this year, and I know it kind of went sideways with the coaching change and all that, were you very concerned with the defense going into this year, or has it been more of just bad timing on not being able to stop anybody on third down. Like they just can't get off the field. Has the defense been as bad as the stats say?
Oh, that's such a good question. They've been better since the coaching change. I give Kevin Coyle a lot of credit. He came over from Syracuse. He had ties with Tim Skipper at Fresno, and he's done a really good job. We've got some talented players in the secondary. I like our corners a lot. I mean, obviously this week's going to be the toughest matchup they've had. So no matter how good you are, those receivers for Ohio State are so good. You're going to get beat some, and I think Sands and absolute talent. I've been talking about him since day one. I just think he has a chance to be so good. So they're going to be tested, but with no pass rush, and you already have a quarterback hitting 80% of his passes, the front part of the defense has been a struggle. If like last week, Nebraska ran all over us with Emmett Johnson, who's a very, very good player. The defense has improved. This is a long-winded answer, but if you can't put pressure on the quarterback, and we haven't been able to do that. We lost some players to the NFL last year, 4 or 5 really good players that got drafted, and I don't know if we've really been able to replace them. So we've improved, but this is going to be a really tough matchup. I mean, we struggled a lot against Indiana, and we know how good Indiana is, and their receivers are great too, but we did slow down their receivers a little bit compared to what they normally do, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. But if we don't put pressure on Sand, it's going to be a long day.
Let's flip it back over to the offense. Obviously, Nico is the focus. He makes everything happen on that side of the ball with his talent. But the guys around Nico, who are some of the other playmakers on offense that have stepped up when their number's been called?
So during our 3-game win streak, we were over 230 yards rushing in those games. So Penn State, I think we had 260 something. So when we were running the football and Javian Thomas, Jalen Berger, we have Anthony Woods back and Anthony Frias. There's actually 4 backs that get some carries. They're all good. Our receivers are solid. I think that's the word I could use. I mean, Quasi Gilmer was expected to have a really big year, and it really hasn't turned out that way for the offense, but he's still got talent. Titus Mokiao-Atamalala is a really good player that I like a lot. Like we've got solid players. We just haven't been able to give Nico the time it takes to get the ball off. So again, I'm going to keep pointing this out. I mean, you watch Ohio State, and my broadcasting partner Matt Stevens and I are like, where's the weakness? Like, where do we find? You know, people can talk about schedule or whatever, but they've got great players. And you're trying to figure out if you can't block them, then Nico has to do his thing with his legs. And after a while, that's just not a winning formula. So I'm hopeful that if the offensive line can hold up a bit and we can run and throw and have a little bit more balance, that's our chance. But the offensive line struggles. It's just like I said on the other side of the ball. If you're losing in the trenches, it's going to be a long day.
Well, I'm glad you're going to get to check the bucket list here and come to Ohio Stadium, this historic place, and you couldn't catch him at a worse or better time, being number 1, so you're going to get to see the best they have to offer. Wayne, this was awesome, man. Continued success, safe travel, enjoy the weekend.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to Wayne Cook for joining us yesterday on Rothman and Ice. Obviously, we didn't have the Nico news then, or that interview would have sounded a little different, but some other good things in that interview as far as what UCLA is going to look like here in a few hours. Behind Enemy Lines is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Coming up next, it will be our Who's Got the Heat segment. Some interesting games left on the college football slate. We'll talk about that and put some pressure on somebody after the break. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Traffic volume is picking up just a little bit, especially on some of the side streets. Right now, 315 north and southbound are looking great between Ackerman Road and the 670 merge on the south side. Both directions are moving nicely with light to moderate volumes and just a few more brake lights around the Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road exits. Lane Avenue itself pretty busy right now between Kenny Road and High Street. Olentangy River Road has picked up a bit of volume between Lane and Kinnear. And Kenny Road also busy between Lane and Kinnear. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types. Good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at CapitalFloridaColumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Florida Columbus.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here. After retiring from professional football, I never expected that me, Bobby, I'd have low testosterone. So I went to my friends over at Affinity, I got my labs done, and now I've been on a testosterone replacement plan with Affinity for 8+ years. Best of all, they've supplemented it with peptides and lots of other great products. Learn why me and thousands of men trust the experts at Affinity to feel their best. Get more energy, better workouts, feel like yourself again. And do not waste another day. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com today.
November is an ideal month to plant trees in Ohio because the soil is still warm, which reduces the transplant stress. Plus, trees require less water in November than in the heat of the summer, allowing roots to grow in the cooler temperatures. When planting trees, keep these tips in mind. Select trees that are zone hardy for where you plan to plant. Avoid planting trees that produce slip hazards like fruits and nuts close to sidewalks. And don't plant large trees near or under utility lines. To learn more about the November tree planting, contact an ISA certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Remember that rush you got as a kid ripping open your favorite pack of cards? Well, guess what? You can feel it again at Midwest Cards. Right next to Nationwide Arena, this place is a collector's dream with thousands of packs from all eras. Chase that Ken Griffey Jr. rookie, pull a rare Michael Jordan, or even hit your favorite Pokemon and relive that childhood thrill. Plus, you can shop their pack wall, kick back in their roomy sports lounge, or even bring in your old cards to sell or trade. Get to Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling Toyota Camry. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Camrys. Or lease a new 26 Camry LE for $269 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax title and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Looking for a career where you can grow and make a difference? Apply today to join the Bridge Credit Union family. In addition to great pay, Bridge Credit Union offers bonuses, health benefits, paid time off, and a retirement plan with employer match. Bridge also has professional development programs to help you advance your skills. It's not just a job, it's your future. Ready to take the next step? Apply online at bridgecu.org. That's bridgecu.org and start your journey today.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now. This is The Fan's Game Day Scoreboard.
This Game Day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. We are now 4 hours away from kickoff when UCLA is going to kick off with Ohio State. Number 1 Ohio State right here in the shoe. No Nico Iamaleava rematch in this one. He's out with a concussion that he suffered last week against Nebraska. We're wrapping up that noon slate. We got a couple games down. Indiana took down... who'd they take down? Let me remember. They took down Wisconsin. That is correct. Arizona took down number 25 Cincinnati. Number 9 Notre Dame. They are wrapping up in Pittsburgh right now. That is a 37-9 game. But we got a couple one-point games going on right now. We have Michigan and Northwestern in Wrigley Field. Northwestern actually has a 22-21 lead over Michigan at the moment. And Texas A&M, they were on the goal line, fumbled, so they are only up 31-30. Could have been 38-30.
The only way to do game day. This is the KeyBank Pregame Show, getting you ready for all things scarlet and gray. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. As you prepare for another Buckeye football Saturday, one very important question remains. Who's got the heat?
Sponsored by Buckeye Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing since 1948.
All right, welcome back in Buckeye Nation. Matty Ice, Dane Sanzenbacher, DeVere Posey. Dane, I want you to lead it off, my man. Who you putting some heat on this weekend?
I will. Before I start, I think I really liked having Wayne Cook on. I thought that was a really good interview, and I liked hearing what he had to say. Absolutely. I think you can always tell when there's a guy that's been there, that's been a player, and especially interested in hearing him talk about Nico. Because I've long been on the camp, like, do not crucify this kid just for what the sport is right now. There's a list of coaches that follow the money. There's players that, like, I think it's getting real unfair, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of that chatter as this game comes on. Oh, no Nico. They paid him all that. He should have stayed at 10. Just give this kid a break, man. Just let him do his thing.
It's unfortunate that we won't see him today because I was really looking forward to seeing his skill set go up against this Ohio State defense. And we saw from him that he could level up when the talent rises up. Yeah. When at the time, Penn State was it looked a lot better when they were ranked going out there. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that we won't get to see him today. That's for sure.
I just thought, Sean, I like when I hear it seem to be rational-minded people that are in the media and talking and saying things. I was like, all right, Wayne, all those things are true. I better hurry up with my who's got the heat before the game ends. And I told you guys Northwestern was going to take down Michigan. I told you. I'm putting the heat on Michigan. They got 2 minutes right now. I think we're at commercial now.
Yeah.
Down one.
It's a good call.
Driving.
Crazy game for Michigan.
This.
2 missed field goals for Michigan. 4 turnovers in the game as well for Michigan. 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions from Bryce Underwood. So just sloppy stuff for them. They're on the ropes right now with about 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It looks like Northwestern has the rock. So I like that call. Dang, Depot?
Man. It was an easy one, but thank you, Matt.
Hey, man. All good. I like it.
I've been monitoring this 8 to 12 rankings, the back half of the playoffs, and just – If you can just go back and just look at how much it's changed throughout the seasons, it'll blow your mind. It's just that back half, those first-round games. And so last 3 weeks, SMU was able to clip Miami. I had Miami under pressure. Then last week put Virginia under pressure versus Wake Forest. This week, game I like, man. Bear Batchemeyer.
Okay.
Number 47, BYU Cougars. I'm putting the Cougars under the heat. They got heat from me. And I want to see if they can rise to the
Who's number 47?
The quarterback.
The quarterback, yeah.
It's number 47.
I thought I was misunderstanding you. I was like, certainly they're not ranked 47. I don't think we ranked that far.
For that number and him being the starter tonight, they're under pressure.
You got to be.
You're under pressure.
It's a great call.
This is just
it's an outstanding.
So they got TCU. I saw it last week and I said, what is going on? I said he has on 40, and they lost.
Oh,
and then you're like,
don't lose if you're going to wear 47.
Oh, well, you got to prove you're under heat because I want to see. You got TCU at your place, and TCU is a 6-3 football team that's out of the top 25.
That's a really good call.
They're dangerous.
You might keep your run going.
Let's go.
It's good stuff. I like it. I'm putting some heat on USC, fellas.
Okay.
USC today. USC right now currently 7-2. They welcome in the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa ranked 21st. I'm putting some heat on them because as far as the playoff stuff goes, you drop this one to Iowa, and things get a little squirrely for them, in my opinion, because while you still have Oregon on deck, you don't want to have that third loss going into that Oregon game. And so as far as the college football playoff rankings go, USC would be, I think, in a tough spot if they dropped one to Iowa today. We know how explosive USC's offense can be. They're second in the nation in yards per play. It's a really fun matchup because on the back end, Iowa's defense has given up like 4 passing touchdowns all year.
Yeah.
It's the fewest in the country with Ohio State. And so I think a good defense and offense matchup in this one, but also just big picture stuff for USC. I think they got to have this one to stay out of some sticky stuff when the playoff rankings start rolling here in the next few weeks.
And you can either put that seat on fire a little under Lincoln, too.
I think this year's calmed that down a little bit. I think like this has been the year to where now people are kind of like, okay, it feels similar to what he was doing at Oklahoma. Not great still, but I think that's calmed the waters just a little bit.
Why does it seem like Iowa is the only place that like hasn't noticed like the changing landscape of college? They seem unaffected.
Kirk Ferentz doesn't care.
They're the only team that's like, oh my gosh, that's the same Iowa. They've been ranked number 21 and playing good defense for the past 20 years. They didn't realize they don't care about realignment. Nope. They don't care, like nothing changed NIL. They didn't fire Kirk Ferentz to hire the next greatest and greatest. I mean, talk about, and no wonder you like gave them that looked like Big Ten football or an old school game last week.
It was all.
Iowa didn't notice. No, they have not noticed all the stuff we're talking about. They're just like, huh?
Nope.
Oh, the game. What's the game? We're still got 4 downs, right? Yep. Okay. You still can run it. Okay.
They're gonna make you play.
Still 53 yards wide and 100 yards long. We're still good. Okay. Nothing changed for Iowa. That's the
crazy.
same Iowa team I played against.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, you're right. You're right. Who's Got the Heat is brought to you by Buckeye Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing since 1948. Going back to some Buckeye stuff, I want to play this clip from Coach Day about Arvell Reese having an amazing season. Depot brought it up earlier. The NFL people, the scouts, the people that cover the draft are all over him, and his ceiling looks really, really high. Here's Coach Day on his growth and some of the other things that have evolved throughout the season.
He was a very productive player in high school. Coach Ginn did a great job of bringing him along and providing a mindset of what it means to be a Buckeye. And that's critical, what it means to play at Ohio State. And Arvell has that mindset. He had the minute he walked in the door. And I think Arvell never gets distracted with noise. He just focuses on what matters. And that's a unique trait. We were talking about this the other day. Maybe there's talk about him with awards, or maybe there's talk about him in the draft. That doesn't affect Arvell. Arvell just focuses on what matters. And again, it starts with a mindset. But I think early in his career, he could have very easily, been discouraged because maybe he didn't play as much early on. We moved to D-line for a couple months, and all those things helped him. And then he sat and watched Cody, he watched Sonny, and now his athletic ability, his mindset, and now, the understanding of what goes on in that room and what James has done in terms of, just the football IQ in that room is allowing him to play at a high level. And I think all that combines to what you're seeing on the field.
I mentioned this earlier in the week to the guys, and quickly, the Texas A&M game has gone final. They did come back all the way and beat South Carolina.
For the record, Maddie said, I'm going to put a bet in on Texas A&M right now because they're losing. They were down 30-3. And me and Dane said, yeah, Maddie, do it. And then we just asked him, and he did not put the bet in.
Yeah, I looked over at Bet365, and it was plus 450 at the time.
Hey, you know what I think? I think they should jump Ohio State in the rankings now because now we've seen how they handled it. They've been tested,
They've been
right?
tested. That's what.
So since they almost lost to a team they shouldn't have lost to, they should probably jump them. Because that's super tested.
Can't wait to hear what the committee has to say about
sure
this
they will.
performance.
They'll have something there.
Whether they frame it as a really good comeback and resilience and all that, or they go the other way and kind of say, hey, you shouldn't have been in that position. We'll dock you a little bit.
Back on a positive note, on Arvell Reese.
Yes.
Man, talk about old school. We're talking about a Glenville guy
It is.
that comes in. He's an Ohio State man. He sits a little bit, moves around.
Yep. And
then can come in and be an absolute star by waiting his turn. I'm like, there's a little bit, there's hope out there.
A potential.
Don't let me I won't
pick.
get too.
Yeah. No, that's real. I mean, I love that, Dan. I mean, he's a potential first overall pick, man.
Just listening to that, you've heard that story before, and it makes sense. I mean, if there's ever a place that you're like, hey, don't act like you're big man on campus at Ohio State, it's when you come from Glenville because you've grown up with Stories. A lot of guys have done it before you, man.
I think it shows
go there, be humble, work, and you're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, and he trusts the process, right? I think he's showing he trusts the coaching staff. He trusts that in time they know what they're doing. They believe in me. I'm going to stay here, and my time will come. And he's cashing in when his number's been called.
Yeah, and in terms of all that stuff is good, who he is and where he's from. But if he's from Alaska, Florida, Cali, we haven't seen a guy like this, man, that can play Mike, Will, outside linebacker, that can throw offensive linemen, left tackles at that, one-handed on two-gapping. I think the thing that's most impressive about him is his open field tackling and his ability to break down and stay square on a guy like Damon Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Your best wide receiver, your best running back, if he can guard tight ends. And I just think, man, just closing speed. And he's also able to sack the quarterback. So he just checks every single box on the defensive front, man, passing and running wise and pass rushing wise. And it's just like, man, I haven't seen a guy this talented on defense in Ohio State that can do this many things, bro, ever.
Him coming onto the scene the way that he has this year, and I know he played a little bit last year.
Yeah.
But as far as the impact he's having in one single year, it reminds me of Malik Hooker that year, to where on the back end of the defense, he was just flying around making play after play after play and kind of was out of sight, out of mind, and just turned himself into an absolute monster. It reminds me a little bit of that. Arvell Reese is an absolute beast, and whatever NFL team drafts him will probably be loving life after that. We'll hit the finish line of the show next with our East to West segment and final thoughts on Ohio State and UCLA. This is the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Things on the roads are looking good right now. No major hassles, problems, delays, or accidents to report. Just the usual volumes increasing. 315 northbound, you'll start to see a few more brake lights around the Medical Center King Ave exit, and then that's going to continue pretty much through Ackerman Road. Still moving with about a moderate volume. On the southbound side, things are starting to get crowded around Ackerman Road, and that continues to the Lane Avenue exit. Don't forget, Woody Hayes Drive is closed on game days between Cannon Drive and Tuttle Park. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Atlas Butler has convenient 2-hour service windows for heating, cooling, and plumbing service. Because nobody likes waiting around. You listen in BMB? Nobody likes waiting around.
Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Drive your dream car home today, no matter your credit history. Hey, it's Phil here at Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall. We proudly accept all credit types, good, bad, or none. Get pre-approved in minutes and hit the road with confidence. Get your new ride today. Call 614-861-7150 or shop our huge selection online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com. Your perfect ride is credit ready and waiting at Capital Ford of Columbus.
Here's a stat that hurts. The average adult waits up to 2 years before getting help for joint or back pain. 2 years of sitting out. 2 years of missing the game. At Ortho Neuro, you don't have to wait. Our orthopedic and spine experts treat every joint issue, often without surgery, and we've got next-day appointments ready. Don't sit on the sidelines another day. Schedule your consult now at orthoneuro.com. Ortho Neuro, for every motion in life.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 36 months of 0% financing plus a bonus $1,000 off. Restrictions apply. Give them a call, 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Columbus has trusted Atlas Butler for heating and cooling since 1921. They didn't start out doing plumbing because home plumbing wasn't really a thing yet. Yeah, they've been around a while.
Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota's got more all-wheel drive choices than anybody. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corollas and Corolla hybrids. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan. Enjoy all the football this weekend, but remember to join us for Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. The ultimate way to get ready for another Buckeye victory. You're listening to the KeyBank Pregame Show. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. It's the Fan's East to West.
All right, welcome back into the KeyBank Fan Pregame Show. Matty Ice, Dane Sanzenbacher, DeVere Posey. Final score, Michigan gets it done. 24-22. We were talking during the break, not exactly sure how that happened. TLC, did you see how Michigan was able to bring it home and crawl out of that hole?
They just kicked the game-winning field goal.
Okay.
I think they kind of gradually marched. It looked like they were setting up a field goal because they got a chip shot on like the 10-yard line.
Okay. They probably had no business winning that game. I mean, with how sloppy they were, all the turnovers, the missed field goals, but they found a way. So 2 teams today, one of the Big Ten in Michigan avoiding a big-time upset, and Texas A&M avoiding a big-time upset as well. A couple Big Ten scores, fellas, that are already in the books last night. Oregon took care of Minnesota. Final of that one, 42-13. Indiana continues to roll with a win against Wisconsin today. Final of that one, 31-7. The rest of the Big Ten slate, Iowa and USC are getting going. Penn State and Michigan State, Maryland, Illinois, all in the 3:30 window. You will have Purdue and Washington kicking off at 7 o'clock, and then UCLA, takes on, obviously, Ohio State at 7:30. Some news popped up today. Or before I get to that, anything as far as the schedule or the Michigan game you guys want to weigh in on before we move on?
Yeah, schedule-wise, I mean, I'm across the landscape. I know we didn't get to mention this last segment, but this Texas UGA game, obviously it's the game of nights, ABC, but just implications for Texas. It's just red alert right now. Red alert emoji.
That game, that's the biggest game of the year right now.
So
is it not? Is there a bigger game that has happened than that one?
I mean, because you look at it, they're 10-5. Texas is they're 7-2, and UGA is 8-1. Texas clips them. That makes UGA have 2 losses. Texas can avoid 3 losses. But if you're looking at this Texas loss, they lost to number 5 Georgia and they have 3 losses. Do they get in? And so I just think this is going to really round off the college football playoff, and it's just they're under pressure. This is a must-win game in Georgia.
Blue blood programs.
Yeah, this is a must-win.
Not to mention this year's implications, but then bigger picture, it's like, okay, Texas trying to make their way through the SEC. They haven't gone through Georgia yet, and Georgia's like the reigning, hey, SEC runs through us. I can't think of a bigger regular season game that maybe even is going to happen this year.
In Athens, too. So,
yeah.
In Athens today, as you mentioned, in a couple weeks, they will host Texas A&M. So a couple big-time games left on Texas' schedule, that's for sure. Some interesting news popped up today about a former Big Ten coach, James Franklin, fellas. It looks like he is in talks with Virginia Tech. Pete Thamel reported that this morning. So that may be the new landing spot for Penn State's former head coach, James Franklin, in some contract negotiations, it sounds like, with Virginia Tech. Depot, your thoughts on that potential fit?
Off to the treadmill of mediocrity he goes. It's all good. Like, I just, you see that with coaches that get these opportunities with these highest paying jobs, and then you just always wonder, does this guy have some Lane Kiffin in him? Does he have some Sark in him? And the reason why I mentioned those guys, they were on the rise, became a guy, fell off, and became a rise guy. Now they're at the top and they're up for a new job. And I think for a coach, that's challenging. Resurfacing from the treadmill of mediocrity. Can his ways that he helped Penn State, get to the playoffs, can you put Virginia Tech in this picture? Less money, less stars on the recruits. It's tough to make it off the treadmill of mediocrity.
What do you think, Dan, if he lands at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of a little underwhelming from what we were talking about. Makes a lot of sense. I thought it made no sense in the world, and everybody was like, no, it could happen that he would go to like LSU or Florida. I mean, what? I don't know what world you're getting fired from Penn State and then you're getting
a better job. Yeah.
So this makes a lot of sense to me. Can he win there? It's going to be tough in this environment. I mean, I think anything it's just such a weird time that it's hard to guess. But yeah, you're going to build a whole new program there. Hope you get some financial backing to make it a little bit of a ruckus. I don't know if that's the place you plant your flag. They're like, we're winning a national championship here, like he said he was going to on game day, like the week he got fired.
Yeah.
But the perk of Virginia Tech hiring a guy like this is you're going to bring along with it all of the connections that James Franklin has built in his coaching career. That's like that's giving these big brand name coaches another chance. That's part of the appeal is you're going to bring a lot of talent with you. Mm-hmm. You're not taking a new upstart to see if he can kind of take steps here. You're going to get a lot of football years of experience, and you're going to get it fast. Yeah. So recruiting's going to be tough. Getting the players you need, that's going to be the biggest challenge.
We shall see. There was an interesting thing that popped up as far as Penn State side of things goes this week with Brian Daboll. Now, Brian Daboll, now former head coach for the New York Giants, he popped up, I think maybe walking outside of his home in a Penn State hoodie. people are now reading into that. There is some smoke out there that maybe Penn State would be interested in making him the next coach. How do you guys feel about him going from the NFL maybe to Penn State?
I think with Brian Daboll, you go back to his career at Alabama, Jalen Hurts, Tua, that was their guy, and so that's what vaulted him to the Giants contract. I could see him in the college ranks. I could see him doing the Matt Rule, going up, coming back, and having some success at Penn State. That could be a good fit. And he seems like just from his interactions with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, he'll be one that can fit in for this NIL era. Okay. Right?
He got some of that sauce to him.
He got some 6'7".
Yeah.
In him. He got some 6'7".
He does.
No, he knows what that means.
Well, nobody knows what it means, but it's just.
If you're Penn State, you got to take a big swing. And because I think that what you said when you fired James Franklin is that this is not even enough.
Correct.
We are not trying to be a middle to top Big Ten team. Because if you fire this guy, you're like, oh no, we're about to go get somebody. So I think you have to either get an NFL guy, you have to get somebody that we know. You need to essentially buy a brand. Otherwise, I don't understand firing James Franklin because he's had a lot of success. He's put you in a spot